Hi, we are Spaceship, and we think that you should launch every day. I'm Patrick Wiseman. I'm the CEO and co founder of Spaceship. Spaceship is my third company that I've founded, and I've worked for two unicorn company teams here in Atlanta. That's SalesLoft and Calendly. I met Tim at SalesLoft, where he was one of the co founders of SalesLoft, and Tim has founded over 10 companies in the Atlanta area. We both also serve as advisors at Atlanta Tech Village for early stage startups. What we like to talk about a lot is that you ship too little. We've spent 27 years managing technical teams, and we sort of believe that developers aren't special. Salespeople are judged by quotas, marketing folks are judged by their ability to create lead gen, and developers should ship to production every day. The practice of shipping to production every day is called continuous delivery, and it reduces business risks and delights your developers and your customers. One of the things that's surprising to people is that it delights developers because people have this image in their mind of production deploys gone wrong. But the fact of the matter is that at the end of the day, developers are builders. And they really like making things for people. And if your process allows them to ship to production every day, they're going to be simply delighted. What your business gets is real-time feedback from customers that allows you to get to the right product ideas faster. You're going to get better quality software, and your production outages are actually going to be a lot smaller because you're shipping smaller changes to production. You're going to have a quicker time to resolution for bugs that come up. Spaceship's mission is to help teams adopt continuous delivery. The teams that we ran at SalesLoft and Calendly would ship to production dozens of times a day. And the fastest growing companies that we've talked to use continuous delivery to fuel product market fit, team productivity, product reliability, and employee retention. The teams that can ship to production every day stick together. Let's take a look about what it takes to get started on Spaceship.
Hey, I'm Hunter, and in this video, I'm going to show you how simple it is to launch an Express application with Spaceship. First, we will authenticate through the Spaceship Connect GitHub application. We will need to create a team so that others can collaborate with us. Handles are used throughout our application as part of URLs. Team handles are unique throughout the platform, and most other handles are unique throughout a team. Next, we select to use Spaceship Cloud. Spaces has built a delivery process that you won't have to change as your organization grows. You can start on our cloud and then later move to your own cloud when financial, compliance, or security needs require it. This brings us to our dashboard view for our team. On our dashboard, we can see the applications that our team is working on, what deliveries have been made for those applications, the delivery destinations for our application, who is on our team, and other team settings. Let's make a new application. Spaceship connects directly to our code in our GitHub repositories to build container images from source code. If it's our first time creating a new application, we'll need to link the Spaceship Connect app to our GitHub repositories. You can connect it to a specific repository or all repositories. We will not do anything with your connected repositories until you ask us to, so we recommend using the all repositories setting. Apps get a friendly name that will be used in the UI through the Spaceship platform. They also get a handle that is unique within a team that will be used in URLs and on the command line. Once we create an app, it will appear in the Apps tab on the dashboard. When an app is first created, we create a trigger that would deploy the default branch on GitHub to the Spaceship Cloud. We also try to build the last commit on the default branch and deploy it to the Spaceship Cloud under the following nomenclature. If we click on the application name on the Apps tab on the dashboard, we can see details for our application. Activity will show us the shipments related to our application. These shipments can be already delivered, in progress, or pending. If there's an error delivering your application, that will also be indicated here. On the Domains tab, we can see the nomenclature URL for our application. We can also set a custom URL at our own domain. This requires setting up some records at our DNS provider. Most applications require some configuration in order to run. The Environment tab lets us set environment variables that will be injected into the runtime for our application. Applications that inject all the environment-specific configuration through environment variables can promote images through environments rather than rebuilding them. This makes delivering new code even faster. Let's go ahead and set our environment variables. Processes define the entry points to your application. Most applications will include a web process, and on its first setup of an application, we will map the web process to the default nomenclatured URL and add TLS through Let's Encrypt. Build packs are the key technology that add entry points to your application. Spaceship uses open source, cloud native computing foundation build packs. More information on build packs can be found at buildpacks.io. Triggers define what events create shipments and deliveries. By default, we set up a new application to deliver the default branch on GitHub to Spaceship Cloud. Triggers can also be created for continuously delivering different environments, such as deploying main to production and deploying next to staging. This is a common pattern when trying to adopt continuous delivery for the first time. App settings let us rename our application. If we go back to the Activity tab, we can see that our application has finished delivering the initial code releases as well as our configuration update to our environment variables. We are launching soon for early stage companies building their products with Node.js, Python, .NET, Java, PHP, Ruby, Elixir, Scala, Go, and Clojure. If your company is interested in early access to the Spaceship platform, please sign up at spaceship.run.
Spaceship started back in September of 2019 when Tim and I were working together at our consultancy. We were setting up the exact same delivery process that we used at SalesLoft and Calendly to fuel hypergrowth at a lot of our client sites. And it was taking us a lot of time. So we started talking not only to our clients that we were working with in the consultancy, but the other founders that we know of SaaS companies and agencies that build a lot of products. And what we sort of found is that there was a large market opportunity for a better pre-production process. As we got further into customer discovery, we really found that the need was much bigger than that. People really didn't like how they deployed to their production environments. It wasn't very automated, it didn't feel very safe, and there was limited rewards in shipping more often because their process was so fragile. By January of 2020, we had sort of realized that we needed to handle people's production deployments and that we couldn't do that as a part-time job. We started looking to raise funds. By March of 2020, Tim and I moved full-time. We brought on a full-time designer in April. And by August 2020, we launched beta support for 9 different languages and frameworks. And we've been working with those early access customers to build and iterate on the product. Today, we have 227 requests for early access, and we've raised $830,000 in capital, but we're nowhere near completing our mission yet. The last 10 years was spent in the software development communities with companies productionalizing and productizing CI best practices. The next 10 years is going to be the exact same thing for continuous delivery. And it's a confluence of the adoption of containerization and orchestration. Before, every single time that you needed to create a delivery process, it was entirely dependent on what your infrastructure was and what language and framework you were using. There was no way to create a repeatable process. With the adoption of these technologies, companies can have the same great delivery process no matter what language and framework they use or what cloud they deploy to. The DevOps market is expected to be $13 billion by 2025. It's growing very quickly at 20% year over year. And the continuous delivery segment of that market is a $6 billion market. Heroku and Pivotal Cloud Foundry sort of paved the way for transforming source code into running container images, but each of them have issues with their business model in regards to continuous delivery. Heroku suffers from what we call the scale and bail problem. It's very easy to get started on Heroku, and once companies do, eventually they have to throw away their entire delivery process and rebuild from scratch on cloud native technologies when it becomes too expensive. Pivotal Cloud Foundry sort of serves the opposite end of the market. They work with a lot of companies that are enterprise companies with their extremely special compliance and other demands. And you basically have to hire an entire team of consultants to come in and set up your delivery process and pay them to maintain it. Each of the major cloud providers are also sort of dabbling in delivery solutions in order to sell more infrastructure. But every one of these solutions has a very bad developer experience, and they suffer from vendor lock-in, and you can't take the same delivery process with you from company to company. So all of them have moderately high training costs. At Spaceship, we believe that every single team member should be part of the delivery process, so everybody gets a seat, but we charge for how many developers you have on your team. We look to grow with our customers, and so we're pricing our tiers based on the needs of the company. At the early stage tier, we're helping pre-product market fit companies get their products into the hands of users faster so that they can iterate on the ideas and build the right things. For growth stage startups, we're looking to take that high output productivity that they have from their delivery process and scale it across multiple delivery teams. What this means is that they get review environments. A review environment is any change that you want to make to your production environment. We will stand up a whole set of infrastructure and give you a link that you can share with your team so that everyone can give feedback in pre production. The compliance tier is all about keeping your team focused on what matters and taking all of that compliance reporting that teams have to do in order to get SOC 2 compliance, ISO 27001 compliance, and HIPAA compliance, and just building it into the platform. We have a lot of missions ahead. As we look at completing our mission of bringing continuous delivery to everyone, we know that we need to support all the languages and frameworks we can. We need to support all of the infrastructure providers we can, and we need to be able to grow with our customers. So we are looking at launching a lot of different price tiers, supporting all the major cloud providers, supporting all the major languages and frameworks. And we're also really excited to be working on the add-ons marketplace. The add-ons marketplace gives a way to include any common application need, whether it's user authentication, authorization, or data stores, at the single click of a button and have it work with the rest of your delivery process. We're raising a seed round later this year, and we hope to talk to some of you about that. And you can reach us at founders@spaceship.run. And back to Laura.